Hey everybody, and welcome to TekFlow for Construction, brought to you by ZenTech Consultants. TekFlow for Construction is a recurring videocast where we talk about the best tech practices and procedures that we've been implementing for ZenTech clients, ones that we think everybody should be looking to include in their own workflows. I am Jim Coppinger, one of the principals here at ZenTech Consultants, and on today's TekFlow for Construction, I'm going to do things a little differently. For those of you who have been with us on all the previous video casts that we've done, I've tried to focus on a number of different industry standard software systems. And today I'm going to shift it up a little bit. I'm going to focus on one system, mainly because of two reasons. Number one, I think it's the best system out there, the one that's easiest for everybody to use. And the other reason is it's one that you probably already own. So you don't need to go out and get any new software to do this. And the system that we're talking about, of course, is Bluebeam Review. And what I really want to get into here is kind of focusing, and I'm going to do this not just in today's episode, but probably over, the next 7 or 8 episodes. I'm going to focus really heavily on Bluebeam Review because I think when it comes to dealing with construction workflows and processes, Bluebeam is very often overlooked. Most of us tend to think of it as a markup tool or an estimating tool, and that's where it ends. And it really doesn't. There are just some absolutely incredible, powerful, amazing features inside of Bluebeam that I think apply to just about every size firm out there. And it's great, like I said earlier, that something like 85% of all construction and design firms use Bluebeam on a daily basis. It's the thing is everywhere. So this gives you something that you can work with and deal with, and gives you some great tools and ideas on how to optimize your efficiencies and your internal workflows for the construction trade using a tool you already have in hand, right? And that's what I want to focus on. So, all right. So what I want to talk about today is adding documents to a studio session. And most of you guys probably already know that with every license of Bluebeam, you get this tool that comes along with it called Bluebeam Studio, which is an online file hosting service. We've talked about it in previous sessions as one of the big four that we've been focused on. But I really want to get into the idea of dealing with documents, right? Because we really want to talk about collaboration, and that's where studio sessions really come into play, where you can have people from all over the world, either all at once at the same time, marking up documents and having conversations and sharing documents all at once right through Bluebeam, right? You don't need any online team or Zooms or anything like that for video shares. You can actually do the markups in real time, or you can have people marking them up in one central location, adding comments and notes and concerns at different times. And it's an ideal scenario. We talked a little bit in the last session of our TekFlow about dealing with that ongoing communication setup, right? And I'm going to jump over here into Bluebeam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up over here on the side. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to open up Bluebeam Studio. And in Studio, you've got two setups. You've got projects up on the top, or you've got sessions. You can see that I've got a session, a little example session that I just threw a couple of drawings in here that we already have running. And this is great, right? Because in a session, if you go into one and there are already files in there, anybody can just go in and just click on the files, and they can start adding markups and comments and using literally every Bluebeam tool that there is. And that's fantastic. One of the things that I truly love about this is that the people who you are inviting in to work on this session with you, one of the huge benefits here is that they don't have to have Bluebeam licenses. They're going to use yours. You can have up to 500 people at a time all logged in and marking up and reviewing and editing and commenting on these documents simultaneously, all using your one single Bluebeam Studio license. It's an incredibly efficient, cost-effective way to do this. And the real benefit here is that everything that we do and in place, all of the markups and changes that we add, are all going to be maintained. And we talked about this a little in the last session. We're going to talk about it in future sessions. But you're maintaining a centralized communications hub. And that's what we really, really want to get to. Now, the key with this is which files are accessible. So you see that we just came into this session. It was already built. It was already structured. I need other documents. I need other files that I want to put in here. And there are really two ways that we can do this. The first and easiest way is I can just go over here and I can just go right into my projects, my studio projects, which is just a file storage location. Right? And I can just go in here and I can open up any studio project. And I can just go in, and if I wanted to go and say, hey, you know what? I need to get a particular file. Maybe I need this civil plan right here. I want to add that to my set. I can just right click on it and I can select multiples and I can just add that to the existing session. You see, I can just add that to my existing session, right? Then I can just go ahead and close out of the project. Now, when I go back over to my sessions, you'll see that that civil drawing, it's been added in here for everybody to work on and access. It's very, very easy to start your studio sessions from the studio projects and to add files from studio projects. This way, everybody is always working with the current version and we can always see each other's markups. And there are a lot of other amazing tools and features we're going to cover in the weeks to come here inside of Bluebeam Studio Sessions. The other way that we can add files for working with into our open and current session that we're on, all right, is right here in the documents panel. You see that if I go and hover right over here, I've got this add file button. And this is a feature that I just find people don't realize is here. You know, it's great when you've already set up your projects inside a studio and you've got them there and you can, you know, go and grab the files. But a lot of times what happens is that we need to work together on files that are in different offices on different servers, right? We need the structural engineer's plan and we need the electrician's sketches and we need, you know, the civil guy's details, right? Whatever it is, right? They're on different servers. Some are on Google Drive, some are on local servers, some are out in, you know, SharePoint and so on. And that's not a problem because I can actually go here and I can use this add file button. And I can just browse out to wherever it is I need to go and open up any file from any folder. I can go to any cloud-based location, any server, online, you know, Autodesk Docs, Google Drive, whatever I'm working in, right? Procore, doesn't matter. Any place where I can browse to it. I can just go in and say, hey, you know what? I need to go in and I need to, you know, pull in that space inventory plan. Okay, and I can just open that up from that server location and it takes a second to load it. But now you see everybody on the job, everybody who I've given access to can now go in, right? And we can actively begin to mark up and change and control and do whatever it is we need to do on this individual plan. All right, so it's a very, very simple process to go in and add these. The one warning, don't ever do this from like your local C drive or your desktop because then you have to be logged in order for people to see it. Right? I did this from a server, so I can actually go in here and I can just leave the session. See up here, I have this little leave session dialog. I can leave the session and I can go on vacation for the next 2 months. And then everybody else can continue working on the job and adding markups and adding comments and changes and all of the different things that we're going to need to do in terms of collaboration and communication while I'm gone. And then the next time I come back and log into Studio, I'll be able to see every change that everybody made throughout the entire life of the project. It's an absolutely amazing way to be able to centralize and simplify your communications. Right? It really does go a very long way towards making you much more efficient, right? What it does is it prevents you from having to worry about sending emails to 100 different people when there's a change, tracking their replies to those emails, putting together lists of, you know, who said what and when and where and how in an Excel spreadsheet, and phone calls came in and someone asked a question and you sent them a sketch. All of that, 100% of that can be handled directly inside your Bluebeam Studio session, right? Giving you the construction workflow that you guys really need to be more efficient and productive. And those are the things we like to talk about here on TekFlow for construction. I'll see you guys in the next episode.